But this is what James Harden is doing. He's trying to force his way out of Houston. He does not want to be there.
Hannah, I'm told that James Harden wants a trade to the Philadelphia 76ers.
He is very upset. He continues to be very frustrated.
You have to find a trade that works because you can't bring him back in the locker room knowing that he don't want to be there.
LA Clippers and 11-time All-Star James Harden are working through whether they can find a trade for Harden out of LA by Thursday's NBA trade deadline.
Cleveland, they bolstered their backcourt, swapping Darius Garland for James Harden, also dealing DeAndre Hunter in a three-way deal that brought back Dennis Schroeder, Keon Ellis.
But what you are witnessing from this man is unlike anything we have seen. He's dropped 35, 29, 50, 32, 47, 35, 35, 39, 41, 45, 41, 43, 44, 38, 32, 42, 43, 38, 57, and 58. He's averaging 40.
This year's NBA trade deadline has been pure chaos, non-stop surprises and wild decisions that nobody saw coming. Front offices stopped playing it safe and started taking bold swings, shaking up the entire league in the process. Every move felt bigger than the last, and fans couldn't keep up with the madness unfolding in real time.
6 weeks ago, when the first conversations came about James Harden, Donovan Mitchell was aware of him, and he kind of filed it away. He didn't think anything was going to happen. This is actually somebody that Donovan knows. He worked out with Chris Paul and James Harden early in his career when he was with the Jazz, made Adidas trips with him, but didn't think it was going to happen, and then boom, it did.
But the move that really froze everyone, Cleveland going all in on James Harden, that decision sent shockwaves across the NBA and instantly sparked debates everywhere. Is this a true championship push built around Harden, or just a headline-grabbing gamble? And the biggest question of all is betting on a 36-year-old former MVP hungry to prove himself a masterstroke or a massive risk.
And I'm not going to lie, James Harden going to Cleveland sort of was not on my bingo card game.
Mine either. At first I was like, what the hell's going on? But I mean, now it's starting to make sense. As it's settled in, I like it. It's a good move for them.
It is. Let's check out their new lineup because shock me or stop me if you've ever heard this before. James Harden leads the NBA in total isolations. Now they have another guard in their lineup as we zoom in here on James Harden. I'm really excited about this.
When a team brings in a former MVP, everything changes. Expectations rise, the lights get brighter, and every possession suddenly feels heavier.
Pretty in the face, slim in the waist, Kendrick Perkins. Monica, will begin with you. This time, the ceiling for this new look Cavs team with James Harden is what?
I mean, could they come out of the East? Sure. I don't expect that to happen, though. Again, excuse me, I continue to be of the camp that drop-in superstar year one is usually not the year of success. Do I think that this bodes well for the Cavs moving forward? Absolutely.
That was the scene when James Harden debuted for the Cleveland Cavaliers. This wasn't just another trade, it was a statement. A test of whether a veteran star could bring order to a young, hungry roster chasing something bigger than regular season wins. In his first game against the Sacramento Kings, Harden didn't rush to score. He studied, he mapped the court, directed traffic, and dictated the tempo with a calm that settled everyone around him. His passes were clean, his pace deliberate. It looked like a veteran making sure excitement didn't turn into chaos. But when crunch time came, Harden flipped the switch. The dribble got lower, the rhythm slowed, and suddenly the defense was reacting to him. Step-back threes, drives to the rim, free throws that slowed the game to his beat. By the end of the night, Harden's 23 points and 8 assists told a story of control, not flash.
James Harden, electric in the fourth quarter, helped the Cavs knock down the Kings. So, Chiney, what do you make of the beard in Cleveland?
What is James Harden historically his biggest knock, his biggest criticism?
The playoffs, maybe?
Correct. I do think that being intentional to start the games well but also finish, especially in your first game, was huge.
2 nights later against the defending champion Denver Nuggets, that composure turned into chemistry. Harden moved smoother, read faster, and looked like someone finally syncing with his environment.
Cavaliers on the road taking on the Nuggets. Let's go to the fourth quarter here. Under 6 minutes to go. Cavs trailing by 4. Nuggets are going to turn it over. Watch the defense. Here's Harden.
Hey now.
Jared Allen, throw it down one time. Looks like they've been doing that for a while.
Listen, Ball, when this trade went down, I was like, ooh, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, what's up?
When defenders hugged shooters, he attacked. When they collapsed, he fired laser passes to open teammates. He finished with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists, nearly a triple-double. But more importantly, he dictated everything. Long rebounds seemed to find him. The half-court ran on his voice. The Cavs played with patience instead of panic.
11, casual night at the office. Here's Harden.
Triple-double. This was crazy.
Step back.
This was crazy. Welcome to the land, my guy.
How many times have we seen that, McKnight?
Bro, this game was fun. I was watching this game last night. It was a good time.
Harden 22, 10, and 7. Cavs tied the game. Here's Jokic kicking it out. Hardaway Jr. misses. Now let's watch what's going to happen on the ensuing play. Cavs get the rebound. Mitchell's going to drive. He's fouled by Jamal Murray with under a second to go, creating a great opportunity. Goes to the stripe, knocks them both down. 2-point lead, less than a second to go. This is obviously where you want the ball to go.
I actually thought this was going to go.
After just 2 games, the difference was obvious. Harden hadn't just brought star power, he brought structure. The offense had direction, the team had rhythm, and in the closing minutes, everyone knew who would take command. For a Cavaliers team with serious postseason ambitions, that clarity could be exactly what separates promise from real contention.
Listen, defensively, it's sort of a wash in terms of James Harden, Darius Garland, but you now do have a bigger body. And I was looking up this new stat this year, Perk and Joe, gravity that the league is actually tracking.
Gravity?
On that list, yeah, so the definition, because advanced stats aren't usually my jam, but this one's interesting. Gravity is what quantifies how much a player pulls defenders toward the above expectation, essentially measuring how much attention they draw compared to what is expected in the predictions, right?
Yeah.
James Harden is 6th on that gravity list, right?
6th in gravity.
So in terms of creating space for the rest of that offense, for making life for Donovan Mitchell easier, obviously the assist ability for the bigs, Allen and Mobley in particular, I'm very curious. This team does have a core in the experience of last year. I just don't know if they're going to have enough runway. Although the East, we'll see.
Before we go any further, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd really appreciate the feedback. And if you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It may seem small, but it really helps support the channel. James Harden has a superpower. His real power is something far deeper, something that's turned him into one of the coldest point guards the game has ever seen. It's one thing to make it to the NBA with raw talent and athleticism, but being a great point guard, that takes something else entirely. The best point guards aren't just skilled, they're creative, confident, and completely in control. And that last part, control. That's where Harden separates himself from everyone else. See, when Harden runs the floor, it's not really free will for the guy finishing the play. Nah, that shot or pass you just watched was already written before the ball even hit their hands. Harden doesn't react, he predicts. Every defender, every move, every angle, he's already seen it 2 steps ahead. James Harden's resume speaks for itself. 9th all-time in total points, 12th in assists, and 8 all-NBA selections. He's easily one of the 10 most dominant players of the past decade. But what sets him apart isn't freakish athleticism or raw strength. Harden's not the fastest, the tallest, or the most explosive guy on the court. His real weapon is his brain, his ability to see the game like it's running in slow motion. Harden's basketball IQ is off the charts. He maps out the half court like a chess master, reading every defender before they even blink. When he's locked in, he's not just playing the game, he's controlling it. Harden once said, "I'm not a system player, I am the system." And that line couldn't be truer. He bends defenses not with speed, but with patience and precision. Every dribble, every hesitation, every step back, it's all part of the plan. Harden doesn't just play basketball, he orchestrates it. James Harden will dribble the air right out of the ball, waiting for one help defender to make the tiniest mistake. And the moment that defender blinks, boom, the pass is gone before anyone realizes what happened. He'll drop pocket passes through traffic, throw perfect lobs to his big men, and fire cross-court lasers to shooters who haven't even finished moving yet. It's like he's playing chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers. Harden's real weapon isn't his speed or strength, it's manipulation. He reads defenders like a poker pro reading a bluff. He knows who's scared to foul, who's late on rotations, and who's about to overreact. Every hesitation, every pause, every jab step, it's all bait for the trap he's setting. Surround him with shooters, and your team becomes an offensive machine. Pair him with a rim runner, and that big man's suddenly putting up career numbers. Those easy buckets don't just appear out of nowhere. They're manufactured through Harden's incredible timing and vision. His playmaking works because he understands basketball gravity like almost no one else. Defenses don't just guard him, they orbit him. 2 defenders jumping him is standard. 3? That's still not enough. And the scary part is, Harden already knows exactly how much attention he's drawing long before the trap even forms. What really separates him is pace. Harden dictates every beat of the game. He'll stroll the ball up the court, slow everything down, and lull defenders into a false sense of calm. Then, with one sudden burst, he flips the rhythm, forcing the defense to scramble. Once the rotation starts, it's already too late. Someone's open and Harden has already calculated who's getting the shot before the pass even leaves his hand. His passing isn't about flair, it's about precision disguised as flash. The no-look feeds, not for show. They're misdirection, keeping defenders from reading his next move. He sees the whole floor like a map, where everyone is and, more importantly, where everyone will be. And the numbers prove it. Harden didn't climb to 12th all-time in assists by coincidence. He built entire offensive systems in Houston, Brooklyn, and Philly around his reads. Different teammates, same outcome. High efficiency, elite spacing, and constant buckets. That's the Harden effect. Even as his first step slows with age, his mind for the game only sharpens. He's one of just 24 players ever with a career assist percentage above 30% and 5 separate seasons over 40%. That means when Harden's on the floor, almost a third of his teammates' made shots come straight from his passing. You can't speed him up and you can't slow him down. He plays at his own rhythm, controlling the pace, the space, and the scoreboard. Even in the later stages of his career, Harden can still take over a game with ease. And when he locks in, when he decides the outcome, it's already too late. Because Harden doesn't just play basketball, he bends it to his will, one possession at a time. They say a rolling stone gathers no moss, and man, James Harden has been rolling for real these past 5 years. 5 teams in 5 seasons, and now he's landed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Every stop along the way, he's called his own shots. Back in Houston, after 8 long years of carrying the franchise on his back, Harden saw the writing on the wall. The team was falling apart, and he wanted no part of it. He called the situation crazy and said flat out it can't be fixed. That was his cue to bounce. Soon after, his wish came true. He was traded to Brooklyn. The Rockets went straight into a rebuild, winning fewer than 25 games for 3 straight years. Meanwhile, in Brooklyn, things went south fast. Kyrie Irving's off-court drama and Kevin Durant's constant injuries shattered the super team dream before it even got going. Harden was left carrying way more weight than he expected, playing through injuries and frustration. Once again, he saw where things were headed, and just like on the court, he made the next move before anyone else could. He forced his way to Philadelphia to join another superstar and chase a real shot at a title. In Philly, Harden even took a pay cut to help the team compete, trusting that GM Daryl Morey would lock him into a long-term deal later. But when that promise didn't come through, everything blew up. Harden felt straight up betrayed. Once that trust broke, there was no saving it. He went public, called Morey a liar, and made it clear he wanted out. And just like that, he was gone. After his exit, Philly couldn't keep it together, his former co-stars kept getting hurt, and the Sixers slipped into back-to-back disappointing seasons. Then came his latest move, leaving the Clippers, but this time, things were different. No drama, no chaos, no theatrics. Harden's departure from LA was smooth, mutual, and all business. The Clippers looked like they were finally turning the corner, winning 15 of their last 20 games, but Harden wasn't convinced. He saw a ceiling, a limit, and he wasn't interested in sticking around to find out how it ended. Instead, he made a move toward what he saw as a better opportunity in the Eastern Conference.
I believe that the Cavs' ceiling is the finals. Do I have them pick going to the finals? Absolutely not. But I think Donovan Mitchell, or should I say Donovan Mitchell, is on the clock. The Cleveland Cavaliers has done more for us being aggressive for Donovan Mitchell than they did for LeBron James. And when you add one of the greatest offensive players of all time in James Harden, one of the best facilitators that we've had over the last 3 years, has done that transition of being that actual point guard and making guys around them better, absolutely James Harden elevates the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's the thing about James Harden. He doesn't stay anywhere that doesn't serve his goals. His on-court vision, the same genius that lets him predict defensive rotations before they happen, extends to how he reads teams. He can see 2 steps ahead, sensing when a franchise is about to stall. And when he feels that shift, he's already packing his bags. Of course, not everyone sees that as genius. To critics, it looks like quitting. They say Harden's a flight risk, someone who jumps ship at the first sign of trouble, someone who's never satisfied. But depending on how you look at it, maybe he's not running away from problems. Maybe he's just smart enough to see them before they explode. In a league where loyalty is celebrated, sometimes even when it hurts the player, James Harden doesn't quite fit the mold. He's never played by the unspoken rule that you're supposed to stay loyal no matter what. And to be fair, with the way he's maneuvered himself out of certain teams, a lot of the criticism aimed his way makes sense. But the thing is, Harden doesn't care. Outside opinions have never held much weight for him. He's built his entire career on trusting his own judgment, making split-second decisions that could make or break a game, and living with the results. That's what he does. He decides. People often underestimate the pressure that comes with that. Being a point guard at the NBA level means carrying more than just the ball. It means carrying the responsibility of every possession, every outcome, every teammate who's looking at you to make the right call. The mental toughness it takes to operate like that is something most people can't even imagine. You have to believe in yourself with an intensity that borders on obsession. You have to trust that your read is better than anyone else's and your judgment sharper than the noise around you. That's why Harden tuning out the critics isn't arrogance, it's survival. Every team has roles, and for point guards, that role is clear. Be the guy. You can't lead if you're doubting yourself. Harden's always believed he knows what's best, whether that's on the court or when it comes to his career. So when he moves on from a team, it's not just drama, it's calculation. His choices, often labeled selfish or disruptive, come from the same confidence that's made him elite. He's protecting his own trajectory, keeping control of the only thing that truly belongs to him, his career. And when you break down his motives, it all starts to make more sense. Harden's obsession with control isn't about ego. It's about survival in a league that can turn on players in an instant. Throughout his career, he's managed to stay behind the wheel, dictating where and how he plays. But there's one thing even Harden can't outsmart, outplay, or outrun: Father Time. That's the one opponent that always wins. It's a harsh truth every athlete has to face. But for NBA stars, that clock ticks faster than most. The average star's career starts fading around 35, and though sports science is pushing that limit, it still comes too soon for many. Harden knows that window's closing, and every decision he makes now isn't just about comfort, it's about legacy. Every player dreams of hoisting that championship trophy, but not everyone gets the chance. Some get their ring early and coast. Others, like Harden, spend their prime chasing it, trying to complete the one missing piece of their resume before time runs out. The public might call late career ring chasing undignified or desperate, but from Harden's view, it's survival instinct. He's not running from teams, he's running toward the one thing that can define his legacy forever. When you look at the late career moves of legends like Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, they're often painted as desperate plays, veterans clinging to contenders just to finally grab that championship ring before time runs out. But Harden, he's not quite at that stage yet. At 36 years old, he's still producing at an all-star level, still a key piece wherever he goes. Yet even so, that fear of retiring without a ring has to be lingering somewhere in the back of his mind. It's the one shadow every great player eventually has to face. And maybe that's exactly why Harden refuses to settle. He's not the kind of player who can afford to wait it out in a bad situation anymore. Every season, every game, every decision matters. That's why his patience runs thin when his role shrinks, when a system shifts, or when front offices make moves that don't match his vision. He's not throwing fits, he's reacting to reality. At this stage in his career, a wasted season isn't just a setback, it's a lost chance at legacy. For Harden, it's not impatience. It's self-awareness. He knows what he brings, he knows what he needs, and he knows time isn't slowing down. That's why he keeps choosing clarity over chaos, teams that understand his game and value his leadership. Just like on the court, where he reads defenses 2 steps ahead, Harden's doing the same with his career, analyzing, anticipating, and moving before things go south. And when you compare the Western Conference to the East, you can almost see the calculation playing out. The West is stacked. Every night's a war zone. The East, more openings, more opportunity. Harden saw that months ago, and just like he's done countless times before, he adjusted his path before anyone realized what he was doing. A lifetime of reading defenders and breaking down plays has given Harden an edge far beyond basketball. He knows when it's time to impose his will, to shift direction before the situation dictates it for him. He can't control Father Time, but he can control how he responds to it. And that's what makes him different. Maybe his strategy will pay off, maybe it won't. But one thing's for sure, Harden isn't leaving his future to chance. He's positioning himself closer to the one goal that's eluded him, the championship he's been chasing for over a decade. What happens next, nobody knows but him, and if history's taught us anything, it's that Harden already has his next move mapped out. Because just like on the court, he's always thinking 2 steps ahead. Adding James Harden to the mix meant saying goodbye to a 7-year connection with Darius Garland, a move that hit deeper than most fans expected. Garland's fingerprints were all over Cleveland's offense, and his departure leaves behind a big question mark about what this team will look like moving forward. For years, Garland was the quiet heartbeat of the Cavs' attack. Over the past 3 seasons, the league's average offensive rating, excluding garbage time, hovered just under 116. During that stretch, the Garland-Mitchell duo pushed Cleveland's rating up to 121, a clear sign of elite production. And here's the key part. Whenever one of them sat, the team stayed strong. When both were off the court, the offense dipped noticeably. That's no coincidence. Garland's presence mattered more than many realized. Last season was the real breakout. Garland peaked, and the Cavs hit their stride with a team offensive rating of 122, about 7 points higher than league average, placing them among the top 20 offenses in NBA history. That's rare air. You could easily argue Garland was the engine behind it all. When he shared the backcourt with Mitchell, they were almost 10 points above average. But when Garland ran the show alone, the numbers went wild. Over 125 points per 100 possessions. That kind of efficiency doesn't just happen, it's earned. Now, none of this means Garland was better than Mitchell or that Cleveland would have fallen apart without him. But it's clear he had a rare ability to take an already strong offense and crank it to another level. It came down to a few special skills. Most importantly, his insane handle. Garland was one of the smoothest ball handlers in the league, someone who could control the tempo, create out of nothing, and take pressure off Donovan Mitchell by running the offense like a true lead guard. When the ball's in Darius Garland's hands, you know exactly what's coming. A steady diet of pick and rolls. Last season, he ran around 16 of those possessions per game, ranking just outside the league's top 10, and that's while splitting touches in the backcourt. Garland thrives in that setup because the first threat defenses have to deal with is his elite pull-up three-point shot. Give him even a sliver of space coming off a screen, and it's money. That automatic jumper keeps defenders glued to him, forcing them to make impossible choices. But that's just one layer of the problem. Garland's lightning-quick first step lets him dive into the paint with a live dribble before defenses can react. And once he gets downhill, he's got that soft, reliable floater, a shot that makes rim protectors hesitate every single time. The moment bigs start creeping up to contest that floater, he punishes them with his third elite skill: pinpoint passing in tight spaces. Whether it's threading a bounce pass through traffic, tossing up a perfect lob, or dropping off a sneaky dime under the rim, Garland just knows how to find his bigs. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley ate well because of that. Both of them got tons of easy looks off his drives and screen actions. Between his pull-up threat and his ability to get downhill, defenses basically had no choice but to blitz him early or switch everything to get the ball out of his hands. That's where things get interesting, because everything Garland does so well also connects directly to James Harden's strengths. Harden has built an entire career off the same core principles: manipulating defenders in the pick and roll, making perfect reads, and forcing teams to live with bad options. He's not just capable of running an offense, it's literally what he's been doing for over a decade. Even at 36, during his run with the Clippers this season, he averaged over 7.5 minutes per game with the ball in his hands, second most in the entire league. And here's the wild part: those possessions weren't wasted. The Clippers' offense actually clicked when Harden was running the show. The moment he hit the bench, though, everything stalled. They lost rhythm, spacing, and direction, because without Harden's control, there was no true lid guard to organize the attack. That pattern has followed him everywhere. Since his breakout years in Houston, every team Harden's touched has posted above-average offensive numbers with him on the floor, often by huge margins, sometimes 8 or 9 points higher than when he sits. And no matter how his roles shifted over the years, one thing stayed constant: when Harden's orchestrating, his teams score more, move better, and stay dangerous. Of course, when we talk about Harden's offensive impact, we've got to separate prime Harden from who he is now. That version of him was a whole different monster, an MVP caliber force who could torch anyone on command. But even if we just focus on the years after his hamstring injury, the story doesn't really change. When Harden's on the court, his team's offenses hum. When he sits, that rhythm falls apart fast. The efficiency gap between his minutes and the bench unit says everything. He's still one of the best offensive engines in the game. What makes that impact so strong is a familiar skill set, one that mirrors a lot of what Darius Garland brought to Cleveland. Harden's an elite pull-up shooter too, though his style is different. He's taller, stronger, and masters the art of space creation with his trademark step backs and hesitations. He doesn't need much separation to fire away, and because of that, he can get his shot off from deep at a crazy volume whenever he feels like it. Just like Garland, Harden's offense leans heavily on the pick and roll, but his version is slower, more deliberate, and brutally efficient. You can't let him get clean looks from three, but you also can't afford to let him turn the corner downhill, because that's when defenses start breaking apart. Once he gets into the paint, the real show begins. The skip passes, the pocket dimes, the lobs placed exactly where only his bigs can reach. Harden's vision is unreal. He's easily one of the best interior passers the league has ever seen, finding teammates through microscopic windows and creating dunks out of thin air. And that's what makes his fit in Cleveland so intriguing.
I also talked to Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and Coach, you know this, Kenny, you know this. What did James do with Joel Embiid? He helped him get an MVP. What did he do with Zubac? He gave Zubac the best time of his career. And they were, how did the young kids do? They do that, right? They're ready to eat, man. Jared Allen and Mobley, they're ready for these alley-oops, these easy buckets. They're about to eat, and this team feels like they've launched a place to compete for a championship. Last thing I'll say about Donovan, he said this is the first time in his career that management said, I'm going to get you an A-star to join you. And he's really, really excited to be with James Harden.
The Cavs have two athletic bigs, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, who are tailor-made to thrive off Harden's playmaking. Since 2014, Harden's logged at least 1,000 minutes alongside 5 different centers, and every single one of them saw their efficiency skyrocket with him on the floor. He spoons out easy buckets like few others can, giving his bigs high-quality shots right at the rim. Mobley and Allen are about to feast, and in return, their screen setting and rim pressure should open up even more scoring lanes for Harden inside.
Donovan told me he talked to James 2 days ago. He's going to talk to him today. This ain't going to be Shaq and Kobe. He's super excited to play with him. They both talked about how they need each other to win. He was impressed how James Harden knew their roster inside and out. They talked about how they were going to work together. And Donovan tells me he's just going to keep squeezing his brain and learn from him. Donovan's having an MVP year, but he said there's so many little things that James does that I could get better at that I'm going to do.
The only question mark left is how Harden will mesh with Donovan Mitchell. That's where things get tricky. Garland's fit with Mitchell works so well because Garland was one of the league's best off-ball guards. He didn't need the ball to make an impact, constantly moving, cutting, and relocating like someone who studied Steph Curry's every move. That non-stop motion kept defenses honest and made Mitchell's job easier. Harden, on the other hand, plays a slower, more controlled game. So figuring out that balance with Mitchell will be the key to making this experiment work. Harden's never been the kind of player who thrives off non-stop movement. He's more calculated, a patient reader of the game who likes to size things up before making his move. So when Cleveland's offense shifts between Harden's possessions and Mitchell's, it's not going to flow the same way it did when Garland was running around creating chaos off the ball. The rhythm will be different, slower, more deliberate. But here's the thing people often overlook. Harden's an elite three-point shooter. Even if he's not sprinting around screens like Garland or Curry, his shooting gravity alone can fix most of those spacing concerns. Think about what happens in Dallas with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Whenever Kyrie initiates, Luka's defender refuses to leave him, even if Luka's just standing in the corner. Why? Because nobody wants to give Luka space to catch and shoot, or worse, to attack a scrambling defense off the catch. The threat of his shot locks defenders in place. Now flip that dynamic. Kyrie's one of the best secondary creators in the league. He can attack from the opposite side, shoot efficiently, and make defenses pay for shifting too much toward Luka. Together, that pairing works because both demand constant defensive attention, even without moving much off the ball. That's the same kind of balance the Cavs could find with Harden and Donovan Mitchell. Sure, they're not quite on the same level as Luka and Kyrie, but the formula makes sense. Over the last 3 seasons, Mitchell has hit nearly 47% of his wide-open threes, while also owning one of the quickest first steps in the league. Leave him alone on the wing, and it's an automatic breakdown. Harden, meanwhile, has knocked down about 42% of his wide-open looks, and when you combine that with his isolation skills and passing IQ, defenses are in trouble no matter who's handling the ball. You can't afford to help off either guy. Both punish rotations instantly. That's why Harden's fit in Cleveland might be smoother than people think. He doesn't have to dominate every possession to make an impact. His shooting and playmaking alone stretch the floor for everyone else. When Max Strus returns and the Cavs start running more handoff and off-screen sets, Harden's vision and timing will elevate those actions. He's the type who can turn a basic dribble handoff into an open corner 3 just by reading the defense a split second faster. When Sam Merrill checks in and they start running guard-to-guard screens, Harden's going to cook in those sets, collapsing defenders and freeing up shooters all over the floor. Spot-up guys like Jalen Tice and Dean Wade and new addition Keon Ellis are going to see the easiest, cleanest shots of their careers with Harden feeding them. And for the athletic forwards, Naquan Tomlin and Larry Nance Jr., they'll get plenty of chances to shine in their minutes too, cutting to the rim or catching lobs as Harden draws extra defenders. In short, while Harden may not bring Garland's constant movement, his shooting, control, and experience as a playmaker could unlock a brand new version of Cleveland's offense. One that plays smarter, not faster, but still just as dangerous. Circling back to Darius Garland's time with the Cavs, it's clear why the offense reached historic levels when he was on the floor. His ability to unlock every piece of that roster pushed Cleveland to an elite tier. But even with all his brilliance, there were still a few cracks in the system, flaws that quietly capped how far they could really go. And interestingly, the things Garland struggled with are areas where James Harden still thrives. For one, Harden's much better at creating his own shot without needing a screen. He's still one of the best isolation players on the planet, someone who can break defenders down one-on-one and get a clean look out of nothing. That kind of skill becomes gold in the playoffs when defenses switch everything and force you to score without help. Garland's more dependent on pick-and-roll setups, while Harden can just take over a possession by himself, something the Cavs have been missing. Then there's the difference in driving style. Garland's an incredible ball handler, but he's not built for contact. He likes to snake through traffic, slipping around defenders with finesse instead of attacking through them. It looks smooth, but it also limits his ability to draw fouls. Over the past 3 seasons, Garland's averaged only about 3.5 free throw attempts per 75 possessions. Harden, meanwhile, lives at the line. This season, he's averaging 9 attempts in that same span, more than double Garland's rate. That's not just a small edge, that's a complete shift in offensive pressure. The Cavs are going to generate a ton more free throws now, and that means easier points when the offense stalls. The third big upgrade Harden brings is his size. For years, Cleveland's backcourt was skilled but small, and that's been a glaring weakness. Garland and Mitchell are both undersized for their roles, and against big physical guards, that mismatch shows up instantly. Look at the Eastern Conference. Cade Cunningham would hunt them in Detroit, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum would target them in Boston, and Jalen Brunson would cook that matchup in New York. Garland's listed at 6'1" with a 6'5" wingspan, weighing in at 192 pounds. Harden, on the other hand, stands 6'5", with a massive 6'11" wingspan and about 220 pounds of muscle. That's a major physical upgrade in the backcourt. He can hold his own defensively, absorb contact on drives, and still have the strength to make plays through traffic. So while the Cavs lost Garland's creativity and flair, they gained something just as valuable: power, physicality, and a battle-tested offensive engine who can handle playoff defenses in a way few guards can. And it's honestly hard to overstate just how big that size and strength difference is. Harden might not be a lockdown defender, but he brings a level of physicality that Garland simply couldn't. With his bigger frame, longer wingspan, and stronger base, Harden can switch onto forwards, hold his ground, and make life tough for bigger scorers. He's got active hands, he pokes at the ball constantly, and he grabs nearly twice as many rebounds as Garland ever did. That extra physical edge matters a ton in the playoffs, where switches and second chance plays decide games. All things considered, the Cavs probably just got noticeably better on defense, while still being every bit as dangerous on offense. And that combination is rare. When you zoom out and look at Cleveland as currently built, they check off nearly every box of a championship caliber roster. People seem to forget that last year, when their offense hit all-time levels, their defense was still elite, top 10 in the league and anchored by the Defensive Player of the Year. They were dominant. The Cavs became just the 4th team of the 2000s to hit 64 wins. Their point differential was off the charts. They had balance on both ends, and they racked up huge statement wins against top contenders. But all that momentum came to a halt the moment Darius Garland went down with that toe injury in April. He tried to gut it out in the second round of the playoffs, but he just wasn't himself, and the team's offense completely collapsed without him at full strength. That's been the unfortunate theme of the Donovan Mitchell era so far. In 2023, Garland missed major time with a jaw injury that took months to heal. Then came thumb issues, leg problems, and random setbacks that constantly threw off his rhythm. Evan Mobley needed knee surgery at the end of that same year, and Max Strus has battled a list of lower body injuries, including the one that's kept him out for this entire season. Every time it looked like Cleveland was finally clicking, someone went down. And that's where James Harden changes the narrative. If there's one thing he's known for, besides the scoring and playmaking, it's durability. The man just doesn't miss games. He's an Iron Man, always available, always ready to compete, and he knows how to stay in shape through the grind of an 82-game season. By the time the playoffs come around, Harden's almost always healthy and ready to go, which is something the Cavs desperately need after years of injury-plagued runs. From what's been reported, Cleveland's front office didn't make this move out of panic. They already believed this team could win a title as constructed, and honestly, that doesn't sound far-fetched. Every time we've seen the Cavs fully healthy, they've looked unstoppable. A machine that slices through opponents on both ends of the court. The problem is, those moments have been rare, and they've never come in the playoffs. So, by swapping one skill set for another, replacing Garland's finesse and spacing with Harden's power, passing, and consistency, the Cavs might have quietly built their strongest version yet. Add in 2 more durable rotation players who can actually stay on the court, and this roster suddenly looks playoff ready in a way we haven't seen before. If everyone stays healthy, Cleveland might finally have the perfect balance of star power, depth, and toughness to break through the East, and maybe even make their first finals run since the LeBron era. So now the real question is, did Cleveland just outsmart the entire league? Or did they gamble their future on a 36-year-old star with something left to prove? Is Harden the missing piece that finally pushes the Cavs over the top? Or will chemistry issues show up when the pressure gets real in the playoffs? And what happens when the game slows down in May and June? Who really takes control? I genuinely want to know what you think about this move. Was trading Garland the right call? Is Harden the perfect fit next to Mitchell? Drop your opinion in the comments. I really want to hear your take, and I'm thankful for every single perspective you share. Thank you for watching and spending your time with Ball Stories. It truly means a lot. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, share it with a friend who lives for NBA debates, and subscribe to Ball Stories for more breaking news, deep analysis, and behind-the-scenes basketball drama. And trust me, we've got more wild NBA stories, hidden angles, and league-shaking updates coming your way. Stick around and check out the next video. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Catch you in the next one. Peace.